Howdy, how's it going? My name's Davvy Chappy, and today it's time to take a look into my favorite setting in D&D because I'm going to be talking about the July 2018 Unearthed Arcana, which goes over all the races featured in the wonderful world of Eberron. For those of you who don't know, Eberron is the kick-ass setting of D&D, full of pulp action, political intrigue, noir gaslights, and halflings riding fucking dinosaurs. It's my personal favorite setting, and Wizards just put out a guide converting it to 5e, which makes me the happiest boy on earth. So I'm going to talk all about it. As always, keep in mind that most of this is just my opinion, so if you don't like something and believe that Eberron should be run your way, feel free to ignore me completely and jump to your own opinion. But with that out of the way, let's begin. So the first race presented in this month's UA is easily the most unrecognizable Changeling. Changelings are shapeshifters that play the role of spies and assassins due to their annoying ability of being able to look like literally anybody in the world. This is easily the most difficult power to control in D&D since all it takes is an action and then you can do whatever you want. And you even have advantage on checks to deceive people into thinking that you actually are their grandmother complimenting their teeth. All you need to worry about is having clothes and voila, you are whoever you say you are. In addition to their shape-shiftiness, they naturally gain a +2 to charisma and a +1 to dexterity, making them great rogues, sorcerers, and warlocks, and they gain proficiency in 2 charisma skills of their choice. They can also use their action to impose disadvantage on attack once per short rest, and they gain proficiency in a tool that also sort of grants them a separate persona for some reason. That ability might need a bit of elaborating on by Wizards. All in all, this is a great social class, but I do worry about the extreme headache that could come along with being able to shape change completely at will. Up next is the Kalashtar, which would take way too long to explain the origins of, so just think of them as humans mixed with dream spirit people and don't ask why or how it's supposed to make sense. The abilities of the Danny Phantom people include a +1 to wisdom and charisma, as well as a +1 to any of your other ability scores of your choice, which is a trait that I will always appreciate because flexibility and customization with the races is an unfortunately rare occurrence. After that, Kalashtar can use their reaction to gain advantage on a wisdom save, they have resistance to psychic damage, and they naturally have advantage on either persuasion, intimidation, insight, or performance, and their whole dream spirit thing makes them inherently immune to anything that requires them to dream in the first place. The Kalashtar has a lot of abilities that seem too good at first, but they all require really specific situations for them to even come up, except for that advantage on skills thing. I can see that being broken real quick. Otherwise, the Kalashtar won't be really all that noteworthy until one of its grab bag of defenses comes into play. So shifters are the closest thing that Keith Baker was willing to get to furries in D&D. Possibly descending from werewolves, shifters take on vaguely animal features and gain traits based off of which type of animal they represent. To start with, all shifters get a +1 to dex, are naturally proficient with perception, can see in the dark, and can shift into a crazy half-man, half-animal man-animal for a full minute as a bonus action, giving them temporary HP and a few other features depending on their subrace. Beasthides get a con bonus of 2, proficiency with athletics, and while they're shifting, they get even more temp HP and a +1 to their AC. Longtooths have a strength bonus of 2 and proficiency in intimidation, and their shift bonus gives them an unarmed bite of 1d6 plus strength. Swift strides shifters get a +1 to both dex and charisma, proficiency in the acrobatic skill, and can move 5 feet more while shifted, as well as move 10 feet with their reaction if somebody ends their turn next to them. Finally, wild hunt shifters gain a +2 to wisdom, proficiency in survival, they can mark someone with their scent as a bonus action to keep track of their location, and they have advantage on wisdom checks while shifted. Ignoring the grossness of the wild hunt, shifters are cool and none of their abilities seem particularly egregious, so there isn't really anything that I'd like to change. And that brings us to the final race of the UA, the one that everybody's been wanting, the Warforged. Warforged are what happens when you create an army of mechanical warriors with their own sentience, and then end the war and realize that you don't know what to do with them afterwards, so they just go out to go get jobs somewhere else. The Warforged get an absolutely crazy amount of stuff, starting with a +1 to con, immunity to poison, sleep exhaustion, advantage against poison, staying alert while sleeping, and a built-in AC that you can shift between light, medium, or heavy armor in between long rests. And if that's not enough for your murderous Iron Man of death, Warforged get their own subraces as well, with the Envoy giving you 2 +1s in whatever you want, a new skill, tool, and language proficiency, and the power to use one of your tools at double proficiency. The next subrace, Juggernaut, gives you +2 to strength, an unarmed strike of 1d4 plus strength, and the powerful build trait to let you pretend to be large for the purposes of lifting things up and putting them down, since Wizards still refuses to make any PC creature that exceeds medium size. Finally, the Skirmisher subrace increases your dexterity by 2, increases your walking speed by 5 feet, and lets you move stealthy at a normal pace if you walk alone for longer than an hour, because that's a feature that will come up all the time in your everyday D&D sessions. All in all, it's clear that the Warforged got the most love out of all the races here, and I do like how they managed to make a Warforged for many different styles of play, although the Skirmisher's last ability is virtually useless due to the requirements for activating it, so maybe fix that up to keep it on par with the other bots. But that'll about do it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and comment if you did, and maybe subscribe if you want to be a cool dude. Also, if you want to stay up to date on all of your Davvy news, I keep a link to my Discord and Twitter in the description below. But yeah, Davvy out.